All right, let's move on to this. Let's move on to these yearly awards, man, in the NFL. Real quick. So I just abbreviated them. I'm gonna tell y'all the finalists, and we can talk about who we think gonna win real quick. Kind of run through this. MVP, they got Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Justin Jefferson, Patrick Mahomes.
Is there many people? Mahomes.
Yes, I also think Mahomes.
It's not even a thought. It's what it is.
Okay, so defensive player of the year: Nick Bosa, Chris Jones, or Michael Paulson.
It's not even
Nick Bosa.
It's gonna be Nick Bosa.
Okay. Okay, offensive player of the year: Tyreek Hill, Jalen Hurts, Justin Jefferson, or Patrick.
The funny thing is, like with most sports, the offensive player of the year and MVP are never the same.
I hate that.
Which I don't get. I don't even understand.
I don't get it either.
0 cents.
No, 0 cents.
It's like they pick another offensive player to be offensive player of the year.
It's basically MVP too, which I think that's
the runner up.
It hurts.
So,
I think
Hurts too.
I think they want to give it to Justin Jefferson. I think Justin Jefferson.
They do.
I think Justin Jefferson deserves it.
Rightfully so. Like I'm not saying like he didn't deserve it, but I think if you look at everything considered, I think Justin Jefferson deserves offensive player.
Yeah, but then you look at I'd look at Jalen Hurts too, like with the year that he had, like rushing touchdowns, passing touchdowns, like how they played when
they'll always knock him because he missed games.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Like he did miss some games, and they're going to take into consideration how they played when he wasn't there.
Get me started on the Eagles, man. That easy
nonetheless, we're not going to get you started on the Eagles. You're right.
Nah, I kind of want to get him started on the Eagles, though. I kind of want him to get started.
All right. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Okay, this is
Kenneth Walker.
Either Kenneth Walker, Brock Purdy's in there now, and Garrett Wilson.
It's not going to be Brock Purdy after 6 games.
Purdy only plays. Yeah, he didn't
play 6 games.
Okay.
He's not getting it. Yeah.
And Kenneth Walker played really well for that.
He did. He did. I agree. Defensive Rookie of the Year. They got Sauce.
Let's go.
They put Adrian Hutchinson in there now.
It doesn't matter who they add. They add people just to add them. It's Sauce.
Look, man, I'm just trying to give y'all all the names.
We don't need all the names.
All pro.
Gangsters, man.
Hey, yo, that motherfucker might be unanimous. Like,
yes.
might be unanimous.
All right, comeback player of the year: Saquon, McCaffrey, or Geno Smith?
Geno.
Yeah, I'll ride with Geno too.
See, now hold on. Everybody
I don't get how these guys are comeback player of the year.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
That's my problem.
That's because at the beginning of the year, or halfway through the year, when we first kind of started this podcast, this is like on show 2. We was talking about this, and I gave y'all these names, and Geno Smith was on there. And I was thinking like, man, I think Geno Smith should be, and everybody like, nah, man, he shouldn't even make the list. Does this really count? He's been in the league.
He should be like a surprise player of the year or something like that. Like
we ain't changing what we say. He shouldn't be comeback player of the year. He's been in the NFL for 12 years. He ain't go nowhere.
I think
it should be come back to the year player of the year. You got to be like miss a season, serious injury.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But I mean, just because
Saquon did lead the league in running, so it may be. But Geno Smith was
leading in rushing yards.
Oh,
Josh Jacobs.
Jacobs. Oh, it was Josh Jacobs. You're right. I think it probably was like scrimmage yards then or something like that.
He might maybe that. Yeah.
It probably could have been. I probably heard it wrong.
Because Josh Jacobs was in the AFC, so.
But I think Geno was top 5 in passing though.
He got the franchise record.
Yeah,
passer rating, dude.
Yeah, a lot of things.
Crazy.
So,
yeah.
Russell.
So I think that may be. I think in between them two, Saquon and Geno, I think that may be good. Coach. Saquon, my fault. Coach of the year. No.
You said it right. I was just like, yeah.
I thought I said it wrong. Coach of the year.
Brian Daboll.
I think they're going to give it to Brian Daboll. Not McDermott, not Peterson.
It's Nick
not Shanahan or
Sirianni.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, too.
They made the Super Bowl. I feel like they can say what they want. They're going to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
Man, Brian Daboll made the playoffs with Daniel Jones.
That's true. That's my vote for it is Brian Daboll. I don't think they'll give it to him either.
And I also look at what Doug Peterson did with the Jaguars too. Was crazy. How they started and how they came back on the back end of the year, winning like 8 in a row to make the playoffs and win in a playoff game.
But Daniel Jones is terrible, bro.
He looked terrible under Daboll,
and he looked completely different.
What the dumpster fire of the Jaguars was last year?
He saved that man's career.
He did. Yeah, he did.
Look, I'm just saying. I think all of these coaches have a legitimate.
They do. I mean, you could make a
argument.
case
Except
for
for
all.
McDermott. I still don't see how McDermott is on here.
No, he shouldn't
but
be.
with the Bills, like,
They're doing exactly what we
Who?
again.
Hey, who won the Coach of the Year last year?
Ooh,
Anybody know?
I don't know. Off
Was
the top of my
that
head.
had to have been Zach Taylor, right?
I don't know. I can find out though. They have something that I just
hell of a
realized. Do you know
turnaround.
they have assistant coaches of the year?
Nah, yeah, I've seen it before. Yeah.
Okay, so they got Ben Johnson for the Lions OC. They got D'Amico Ryans, the Niners DC, and then they got
it'll
Saint,
be D'Amico.
and they got the Eagles OC offensive coordinator. You think it's gonna go to Ryans?
Who's
gonna be D'Amico.
offensive coordinator?
Shane Stitchison, I think.
Does Sirianni call some plays though, right?
I don't know.
I want to say he does.
I don't know if he calls the plays.
I can't respect a coordinator that don't call plays.
I'm with you.
They automatically is excluded to me. I wouldn't even take that job. Like, what am I here for? Like,
yeah, I agree.
Get this paycheck.
I mean, yeah, outside of that.
But he may not be a good play caller. He may not be good situationally. But he may design. But if you're designing the plays though, like if you know what I mean, like
if you're not calling them, you're probably not designing them. Like I think that's another thing about Eric Bieniemy though. Like that if I'm a franchise and I'm looking for a head coach, and I have a coordinator sitting in front of me, and none of these coordinators call plays, like I'm probably not gonna, I'd have to see what your work looks like out on the field.
But Bieniemy calls the plays.
Say what now?
Bieniemy calls the plays.
Nah, Andy Reid does.
No. Andy Reid does. Andy Reid does call the plays.
Yeah.
Since
you don't see him standing with that big ass sheet.
I'm about to say he got the board this big.
That Waffle House me.
That's all the coaches be doing that.
Not all head coaches do that. Only the ones that call the plays got the play sheet.
Okay. I'm gonna say this. I ain't saying you wrong, but I'm almost sure I heard it because Andy Reid came out defending Eric Bieniemy because people were downing him for exactly what you're saying. Saying that he didn't call plays and it kind of discrediting him.
I know Zach Taylor calls the plays for the Bengals. There's a lot of coaches that I think Sirianni calls the plays for the Eagles.
Okay, so let me ask you this: Did Zach Taylor call plays with the Rams?
No, he didn't. He wasn't an offensive coordinator. He was like QB coach.
Right, but he got a head coaching job, right?
He did for
okay.
That's the Bengals franchise, though. Like, I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. Like, I'm not downing it, but I'm just saying if I'm in charge, I'm calling the shots. Like, I'm not. I mean,
Brandon's saying he did for half the year and then gave them up.
Is that Andy Reid?
Yeah, is that Andy Reid or is that Eric Bieniemy? Brandon
or Sirianni. I think we
or Sirianni too. Yeah, we're trying to figure out who calls the plays for Kansas City and for the Eagles.
I looked, by the way. Mike Vrabel was coach of the year last year.
That's
right. Oh yeah, the Titans. Right.
Yeah. I forgot all about him. He can coach. Yeah, dude can coach. I give him that.
They just changed the whole front office there in Tennessee, so he may be on his last leg.
See what he just said.
Let's see. Okay. He said, saying that he gave him up free to focus, being a better head coach.
I hear that a lot, though. Ryan Day's giving up play calling to focus on being having a imprint on other areas. So I do hear a lot that coaches are, you know what I'm saying. But I definitely seen Andy Reid with the Waffle House menu up there.
Man, me too. That's all. I think, and every time I see him, I think it's so funny because the board is.
I don't think that means they're calling the plays though. But again, you got to remember. I think, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of them probably having discussions. So whether or not they calling the plays or not, I'm sure they're talking with the OC about, all right, situationally, what you got for this, or what you thinking about that. So
probably discussing situational stuff too.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
But there's so many that
script. So
there's so many that don't call plays, that don't have, like Mike Tomlin. You'll never see Mike Tomlin walking around with a play menu in his hand, like
that's true.
He's not calling plays.
But he's a defensive coach too. Like some coaches, head coaches, like whatever their specialty is, like sometimes they just call on that side of the ball. So like, he may be just calling defensive plays and have the OC call offensive plays. You know what I mean? And he just, they conversate through.
I pay attention to little stuff like that. I feel like I don't think he's calling plays. Like
Yeah.
But
I mean, look, whatever get your team success. Whoever calling the plays,
I mean, shit. If you head coach, you want to call
whoever
plays,
calling and they in the Super Bowl, so whatever they doing is working. I mean, you can't really shoot it down.
Well, my thing is this. I think, and this is my opinion. I think if you're a good head coach, you don't have to call the plays. You could, but you don't have to because you're in preparation throughout the week. They're gonna know what you're gonna want run in certain situations. So
you're instilling what you want to do.
You have on a headset, so you're constantly talking to these guys.
Correct.
Yeah. So regardless if you're calling them or not, you're still very much involved with what the hell is going on.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
There's no doubt in
that. Andy Reid definitely orders All-Star specials at Waffle House. I just want to put that out there.
I just can't. When I heard that, man, I died for so long off of that. Like, man, that was the funniest shit ever.
On its last light, same clothes I'm from last night, still lit like it's last night, young living in the fast life, young. Smoke cloud from the ash pipe, catch air from the half pipe. I need a centerfold from the shows with the mansion, chandelier dancing, counting a Branton, yeah. Been had hella Franks when it's ballpark figures, might be in the field but I came from the trenches. You can tell it's my time, look at better swing. I do like the charm on my wrist, let me glitch. Want me pay the way, I'm the wave, I'm authentic. Sitting courtside, got a sprain, nigga, I bring the gang for the gang. Nothing but a thing when I sang, young Usain, I sprinting, getting fresh prints, counting a blessing on blessing on blessing. They call me the reverend, y'all nigga play too much.